Hey everybody, good evening, good evening. I'm walking to the store. So I thought, while I'm walking, why not stare at a phone screen instead of what's ahead of me? In other words, I better pay attention. So speaking of paying attention, I was thinking today about a funny little moment. I mean, funny to some, to others, it's like that's really dark, but that's my life. So there was this time when I lived in Florida. Which reminds me of Cat Williams' skit about Florida, down literally to the street that I lived on. And the joke was about how bad of an area it is there. And it was bad. A lot of drugs, a lot of prostitution, a lot of murders, a lot of robberies. I mean, it was bad. It was an area that it wasn't somewhere where you would want your family to live. It's not somewhere you'd say, hey, grandma, come move to this. No, no, you don't know. But look, we lived there for a while and we had zero problems. Everyone was really nice to us. But there was this time when Jasmine, my daughter, had had a package stolen off the porch, and some other neighbors had had some stuff stolen too. So there was somebody, porch pirate. And so the police ended up coming just to get a report, basically, so that you could submit it to the companies, to get your refund, or I can't remember the details of how they did it, but you needed to have the police report for the package retrieval and for it to be covered, the insurance, whatever. That was long-winded. That wasn't even the point. The point was when the police came, one of them was a female officer. She was really cool. And she ended up coming into the place, into my house, because they were outside for a really long time waiting for the neighbor to come out. And so I asked her if she wanted to come sit down. You want to come in here? Yeah, I just invited her in like I knew her or some shit. She was like, yeah, your house smells so good, because I had these scented candles, and it was really cool. And inside of our apartment, it was, you could tell that we weren't from that area. And she was looking, she was talking, and she was like, yeah, thanks for letting me come in, because, they were waiting for a long time for some other stuff. And so after that, we were talking, and then when it was time for her to leave, because I gave her something to drink. We were chit-chatting about girl shit. You would have never known she was police. But the men, on the other hand, they were, a little more firm. So look, I walk them outside because we were still talking. I was walking them to their squad cars because they needed protection. Fucking A. Because look, this is what happened. My face is turning red. I wouldn't believe it if I didn't live this stuff. My God. So look, because I lived in an area with gangbangers and thugs and all kinds of other people who I had no problem with. They were fine to me. They didn't just, I don't start nothing, won't be nothing. But look, the the officer, he had seen me walking with the lady, and there were a bunch of guys, and we always had problems with these people. Not me specifically, but there are these people who are not of nice character, might have belonged to organizations of unniceness. They were harassing the cops. They were calling them names and spitting at them, and they was throwing shit, and the cops weren't doing nothing. That's how rough it is where we live. The cops wouldn't do shit. And I was just telling them, hey, yo, stand down. They're just picking up a report for a package. It ain't nothing. Just, need this. And they're like, come on, Jody, don't be fucking with the cops, right? And so I'm thinking, so I'm walking her out safely. So the man, the police officer, one of them gets in this squad car, and then the other one walks up to me. He says, let me talk to you. He says, you shouldn't be here. Pack your stuff up. Let's get you out of here right now. This is very unsafe. You should not be here. We'll pack you up now. We could send some cars. We'll send some squad cars to help you pack up, get you in a hotel, and then you need to move. It is not safe here. To which I was like, oh, how sweet. He's scared for my safety. I was more scared for theirs. But I was like, thank you so much. But no, we are fine here. We're fine. There was a lot of stuff around, a lot of drugs. I mean, you could look out your window and there'd be bodies. There could be a person hanging from something. Or my neighbors, I think there was a decapitated head in the tub. I mean, it was a bad, bad area. I mean, I'm not going to say it was just all fun, because it wasn't. It was rough. But I knew I'd be fine there. And, the funny thing was, even though the area was really bad, because of the way we were and not messing with nobody bugged us. It's usually when people are bugging them that they'll have issues. But I'm just like, the irony, though, that I had originally moved there because I was being sexually assaulted in my sleep when the ministers. Sometimes when people say that they're in ministry, so some of these people that are preachers and so forth, I look at them and I'm like, you're a liar. And then people kind of want to know, how do you know? And I'm thinking, well, I experienced myself what they did. So I know. So, but it's a trip how I lived with church people who did ministry, and the whole community thought they were great. Looked up to them, gave them money sometimes through events, and just really praised them. Kind of looked down on me, interesting, but I still am humble. I'm like, okay. Yet that is the family who molests me. It's from the church. The fakers. Yeah, the real ones that are fakers. Not all church people are fakers. I'm not saying all of them are fakers. Don't get me wrong. But that came out a bit wrong. But I was saying they were fakers. And I was being a bit passive aggressive. I take that. You get what I'm saying, though. I mean him. Okay, you get it. So it's funny, not funny, the irony that the pastor people, the church people that are supposed to look out for you, turn a blind eye, literally, to these people. Because I said that man molested me. To the minister, to the church, to other people. And, well, they don't care. But yeah, I go to the hood where there's crackheads and pimps and fucking dope fiends and all this. And they looked out for me better. They did. They really did. They made sure nobody fucked with us. They looked out for us to the point that there was one guy, he was like the big dude in the area. He was like the dude on the block. So you had to get through. Anyway, he was a big, So he protected us once. We went to the grocery store and a man looked at my daughter who was underage. He looked at her ass and he seen it. And he wasn't having it. He stood up for us, which was great. I was very thankful that he stood up for us. And he had told this man in a very different way of what I am saying, part of which included picking him off the ground and throwing him across the store floor. But although I didn't agree with that part, I agreed that the message was kindly meant, which was don't touch them, don't look at them. If I find out you've even looked in their direction, you ain't gonna be looking no more. So I was like, whoa. And then I was like, that was a little rough, don't you think? Thank you, though. And he was like, no, you don't understand these people here. These people will kill you. These people ain't no joke, Jody. So it was like, damn. But we were safe while we lived there. We lived there until Hurricane Irma hit. I got a call that said, get the fuck out. Move out now. So 20 minutes later, we're packing our stuff. Within an hour, we were out. It was like middle of the night at that. But I think I told you guys a little bit about that one too. Anyways, point. Sometimes people that think people are lost when it's the people doing the judging that are lost. Sometimes, it's those people in the church who are hiding stuff. But then again, it's also other people as well. But the point is, don't follow man-made things. Don't become a person who follows idols. Some people look at their ministers as idols. Don't put them on that pedestal either. They're human. Don't forget. But don't prejudge people, because oftentimes people that have came from the hardest stuff and who seem the roughest are that way because they had no choice where they grew up or whatever their situation was. And maybe they're trying to look out for you because maybe they could see what you can't because you've never been through it. So they try to make sure it doesn't happen. See, those people are chain breakers. To me, they're still heroes. And they all have a good testimony to share as well. Anyways, just thought I'd share. I guess that's my little non-story time. It was my real life time. I'll see you guys later. I'm going through a little tunnel. And then, so, see you in a bit.